Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another episode of Challenger Spectates. Now today we're actually going to be focusing in on Magifelix, Fnatic Magifelix, a player we've watched many a time because this is one of the best solo queue players in history, really. So right now, of me recording this, he is rank 1 EU West and Challenger has now unlocked, so he is Challenger. And yeah, this is the guy that, you know, we even watched, I think, recently. And I said he had like 3 or 4 accounts in Challenger at the same time, and 3 of those I think were in the top 10 of Challenger EU West at the same time. Insane. Obviously is now a pro player. I think he used to be just a solo queue player, and you know, so many people have asked me in the past, like, how do you get to become a pro player? Step 1, by the way, everybody, is just be Challenger. Like that legitimately is step 1. If you're currently in platinum, diamond, silver, gold, wherever rating, and you have aspirations one day, I'm going to be a pro league player, how do I do it? Step 1 is become a Challenger player on your server. If you're European, I would definitely say get EU West Challenger over EU Northeast. Again, that's just the staple server of Europe. But that is step 1. And I think that's mainly how Magifelix got discovered, you know, and all that was, who is this guy? How does he have so many accounts in this rating? Let's test him out. And I don't know, like, I think there's a difference with North America and EU. In North America as well, you guys have the scouting grounds. I don't think Europe has them, or if they do, I don't really remember. The scouting grounds, obviously, for North Americans is if you're a, I think, top 3 or top 5 or top 6, one of them, of your role, and you're not a one-trick, they invite you to the scouting grounds every year, and it puts you in front of the teams. And they have, you know, they could pick you up for their academy team or their pro team, and that's a very good opportunity as well. So today we're actually watching Cassiopeia, because again, I'm always looking for new picks. I, you know, recently picked up Victor, Ziggs. You know, I've played them throughout the years, but I haven't mained them in ages. But I started to play them because I was noticing their strength in these commentaries and in my own solo queue games. So I was kind of noticing, and Cassiopeia has been popping up quite a lot. She's getting ganked, Jarvan, obviously, no vision so far. Flashes weirdly, not weirdly, flashes downward, and I was like, oh, wouldn't she flash like over the wall over here? The reason why she flashed the direction, nice survival. The Ziggs bomb went over Cassiopeia's head. Lucian saving her with the heal. Really nice double kill for Cassiopeia. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, the reason why she didn't flash that way is because she flashed towards her team who was roaming up the river. Really good by the red side bot lane, by the way, because you know, you're sacrificing a bit of farm to go save your mid laner. That's not good for you personally, but it's good for your team. But yeah, what you just saw there, even though I'm a Ziggs player, is the reason why Ziggs is never usually mainstream. That Ziggs, you know, threw his skill shot directly on top of the Cassiopeia, but it bounced over her head. And yes, a really good Ziggs will know where it bounces, but in the heat of the moment, when you're fighting somebody and it's really quick and intense, it's not a normal skill shot. There are bounces, and the bounces sometimes can screw you. So that's the problem with Ziggs, is, you know, and I know that even as a Ziggs player, I accept it, even though I play Ziggs, is you're going to get screwed by the bounce occasionally, and there was a great example. If the bounce didn't, you know, go over her head, that Cass was probably dead. So, yeah. But obviously Ziggs recently got a buff. There has been more Ziggs in every game. His pick rate has gone up. And again, I think he's good as long as his spells land. But that's, again, the issue, is not all the time his spells land. But why, by the way, Cassiopeia? I think we made a video of her a little while ago saying, should I pick her up or anything? And I never really did. I want to watch one more game. And this is actually a game I specifically went for because of the Ziggs pick. Cassiopeia's weakness, or one of them, has always been high-range matchups. Cassiopeia notoriously is good versus melees. She's good at denying movement because of her W. It grounds people. So how does she deal against something like a Ziggs, who is a high-range poke champion? Well, that's what I want to find out, because I know I could play Cassiopeia today, but what happens if I went against a Ziggs and I don't know how to deal with high-range poke? Well, maybe we can learn. Once again, you literally saw, again, Ziggs get screwed by the bounce. If that hit, that would have been a good trade for him. But so far, obviously, the double kill helps, obviously. But so far, the answer is aggression. And obviously, aggression can get punished with overstaying, being a bit deep. The Jarvan does a gank. with flash and does kill the Cassio. Obviously now knowing that the Cassio doesn't have flash or barrier because of the previous play. But that's really good. That's smart by the blue team of going for Cass. Because Cassiopeia shares what a lot of my champions do, by the way. Like Cassiopeia right now merges into my champion pool in mid perfectly. Why? High damage, AP mid laner. More on the control mid laner side. Control mage with very little mobility. Think of my current champion pool, like arguably my most 3 played mid laners so far this season. Victor, Ziggs, Syndra. Those are my 3 that I've played the most, and I haven't played too many mid games yet because I've always been given top. But those are my 3. They're all the same. They do high damage, they're control mages with no mobility. Cassiopeia fits completely. But what does Cassiopeia have? I'd arguably say more pressure. Now, what they're doing here, which I like, good ground. The moment, that's kind of funny, Aftershock got the kill. The moment that Ziggs goes back into lane, he just got a gank from his Jarvan. The Cassiopeia is returning lane, boom, gank him. Again, Ziggs is in my champion pool. He does have a bit more mobility, but not much. Like his W you can use for mobility, but it's not the same as like other champions that have a dash that you can just instantly get out the way, like an Ahri, you know, has got her ultimate dashes. Ziggs' W is a bit different. It's a lot slower. It's a little bit... It's obviously easier to predict because you're literally seeing the W on the floor. So it's not exactly the same as pure mobility. Gangplank roaming down, getting himself caught, to be honest, and will get himself killed. Bad play by Gangplank, and now with 0-3 is the Gangplank. Could be a bit of a tilted player. I don't know. Again, they've got the clan, obviously, C9. That isn't a Cloud9 player, considering we're watching this on EU. Maybe a bit tilted. Again, I do think Gangplank is good right now. Definitely back in the meta. I was watching LEC last night and there was a Gangplank and I was like, that makes sense. You know, when top lane is so much of an island, usually Gangplank likes islands. He likes free farming to late game and just dueling in the 1v1. That's what Gangplank loves. But this game, he's against a Vladimir and this Jarvan has put time into top. So it's going to be rough for this Gangplank. That is the risk. If you do get ganked, if you do get camped on Gangplank, there ain't much you can do. You're either going to have 0 farm or you're going to die a lot. Where something like a Darius can deal with it probably a little bit better. Renekton can deal with it. A Set can deal with it. But Gangplank can't. And not in the early game at least. But so far, yeah, the answer really to the question that I was seeking this game, how does Cassiopeia play against a ranged poke champion? Aggression. Making the Ziggs uneasy about just free farming. You'll see the Cassiopeia, what she wants to do, and just to make it clear, she wants to secure, nice W by the way by the Ziggs, and remember that got buffed. She wants to secure her farm. So the first thing you'll see Magifelix do is secure as many of the 6 minions or 7 minions if it's a cannon wave. Secure as much as he personally can. Then he'll look for aggression on the Ziggs to try and deny the Ziggs farm. Because Cassio can kill minion waves incredibly fast. So that's the idea behind it. Finish your wave, then go aggressive, put your opponent off getting all the farm. So that's really good. Again, like we said earlier, this Gangplank now 0-4 is very much going to struggle because he's just getting camped. But you know, here's the weird thing. You guys have heard me say it many a time. Oh, it's not a very good idea to camp top lane, blah, blah, blah. You know, with valid reasons. I think the recent one, I was playing Shen, and we had a Nasus against us, and it was like, okay, they're ganking me. This game, Nasus is a bit of a different, even though he's a late game scaling champion, he's a bit different. You know, Nasus is good at killing one thing, he's not good at killing the whole enemy team. This Jarvan is ganking for and camping a Vladimir. Vladimir, again, we all know it. There's people that call nerfs. Why isn't Vladimir nerfed every single patch, basically? He can kill everything. Like a strong bounce over. He can, a good Vladimir who lands his ultimate and combine that with a good, strong Vladimir ultimate with a Misfortune ultimate with a Ziggs bomb. That's a crazy good combo, by the way. Like, clearly, I will say, I haven't really said anything yet. The blue team comp is incredibly good. Like, incredibly good right now. And, you know, they've got the lead. The Gragas died to a tower, a failed tower dive. Oh, lovely play by the Nautilus. Again, that is animation spells. Even though you get hooked, he pressed Q before he got hooked. Therefore, when the hook landed, even though he did, you know, a few seconds got grabbed, the hook still goes off. Again, I know people get annoyed that sometimes I repeat my points, but when it's important, I think it's worth noting. Anyway, Blitzcrank doing his best just to be annoying. Cassiopeia roaming, and what the enemy team should be doing right now is, why is Blitzcrank doing this play? The only reason he is doing that play, and remember, Challenger, is because someone is coming. He's delaying. He's stalling the time of stay bot lane, please. Because if he didn't, they could have just maybe run back or went to base, and Cassiopeia's time would have been wasted. No, instead, he delays it. He baits out Misfortune ultimate early, and they get both of them. Really nice. You saw there, by the way, Ziggs ultimate went down to bot side, and now Ziggs has caught up and taken the farm lead. But I think overall worth for the Cassio. She's helping her team gather a lead. She's gaining a lead for herself, and farm isn't that different. Obviously, though, one of Ziggs' strengths is he's a tower pusher, tower taker. I personally even maxed W second, and I think that is, I don't know, it's probably not going to be as close now. Well, it might even be as close. Like, a lot of people found it weird that I used to max W second, because E, obviously the minefield now slows more, but the W is so much higher utility than it used to be. It used to, whenever you see the W, it used to knock your opponent 400 yards away, or what, range away. Lovely Cassiopeia. But look at, again, aggression, aggression, aggression. That's how you have to play the champion. Teleport comes in by both top laners, I believe. Cassiopeia triple kill. Quadra kill potentially on. Vladimir W not going to get away. He does get a kill, though, on the Blitzcrank, funny enough. Gragas going to continue trying to get his slow with a Q. Ziggs is now back in the area, and I think that will most likely be that. Gragas using his stopwatch to avoid the damage. Lucian ultimate comes through. Vladimir really low. They are going to chase him out. There's probably going to be a little thing here. He's going to go aggressive because he knows he's dead at this point. Is going to pick up the kill. Ziggs ultimate coming through. Doesn't kill anybody. But that's the strength of Vladimir, dude. He just killed 2 people in like against 4 or 5 people on the enemy team. Vladimir's crazy, so that's why I said earlier, yeah, usually top lane isn't the lane to camp. But if there's a Vladimir in your top lane, it's not bad. Like, it's completely fine. You know, get your Vladimir fed. Hell yeah. But overall, really crazy play. Lovely combo there. Again, this Blitzcrank looks pretty good with the barrel combination with the Gangplank. Obviously, didn't do much damage to the pretty squishy Jarvan because the Gangplank doesn't have any damage yet. Furthermore, worth noting, remember, if you are a crit AD carry, the crit meta has been nerfed somewhat, because it used to be buy 1 crit item, then stack your crit cloaks. Gangplank even did that, by the way. Buy Triforce, buy IE, buy 2 crit cloaks, and I think that might have been 100% or near 100% crit. You can't really do that anymore. Same for Jhin, can't really stack them, Aphelios, all of them. So it has hurt crit meta quite badly. So Lucian might have got a small buff from that. On hit, Varus might have got a small buff from that, which is good. I think opening it up is a good idea. Jarvan waiting in the bush, by the way, in bot side does get a kill. This Jarvan does seem pretty good as well, which, we should expect. It's Challenger. Vladimir is now top side, and, whoa, going all in instantly onto the cast. Oh, she gets the stun with the chain CC. Really nice. God, she got that stun. So, again, the disaster there, if the Vladimir predicted it, W'd in time, he would have avoided the Cassiopeia stun and would have definitely killed the Cassiopeia. Again, sometimes the best time to use a spell, like a Cassiopeia ultimate, that stuns when people are looking at you, is when someone doesn't expect it. When would you least expect that? Probably right at the beginning of the fight when the Vladimir is not even, like, threatened yet. He'll probably, like, expect it. Oh, God, I'm nearly dead. Cassiopeia is going to go for the execute. Now she'll do it. Yeah, Magic Felix just did it instantly, and wha-bam! Like, that really, really smart play. And I know to a lot of people it might not mean a much, but trust me, like, that was really good. Really good. Ziggs getting caught by the Blitzcrank, will get himself killed by the Gangplank, gets himself on the board. Lucian looking for a kill on the Jarvan. This will now secure Dragon priority. Lucian flashing aggressively, which is worth it, by the way. He got Jarvan flash, like you saw the little flash spark. But 2, there's no risk of a steal when you get rid of the jungler pressure. Jarvan, I can guarantee, was waiting in that bush for a second to look to steal. Lucian flashing aggressively got rid of that chance. Misfortune ulting, Nautilus is coming in for the kill. Alcove use, everybody. Alcove was helpful there, did save probably the Lucian's life, and nothing more will happen in bot, I think. By the way, Cassiopeia's build, very standard, Seraph Rush. You need Seraph's mana cost. Gragas gets a solo kill on the AD carry somehow. Mana cost on Cassio obviously very high. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. I'm interested. I'm going to say it more. Banshees, second item. Double... What is happening? Double kill for the Nautilus. But yeah, Banshees, vastly underrated item. And if I'm actually honest, I might have just had a, what do they call it? You know, a euphoric moment of like when Homer Simpson in the Simpsons movie goes through that wild trip and he works something out. Why don't I buy the item more? I have no idea. Think about it. My champion pool, like we've gone through earlier, is really immobile. Victor, Syndra, Ziggs to a certain extent. A bunch of them are really immobile. Banshees would fix that problem for the most part. Unfortunately, by the way, the Blitzcrank seems pretty good, but I think he's got Blitz Syndrome. I see hook, I do hook. There, it would have been well more worth to not hook the Jarvan off the Cassiopeia W. It would have been more worth if the Blitzcrank ran onto the Cassiopeia W and kept him on there. So that was a bit of a Blitz Syndrome there. Again, by the way, it is a thing. It's like Lee Syndrome. Lee Sin hits a Q, he must press the extra Q, even if it means he's going into the whole enemy team. Blitz has the exact same thing. I see hook, I do hook. It's not always a good hook. Not always. Got to be calculated with your hooks. Meanwhile, if you guys did notice there, Misfortune got a solo kill on the Gangplank, which is a bit worrisome. That was a 1 and 4 Gangplank versus a 1 at the time, 1 and 5 Misfortune. Anyway, they do get the Rift, which I do think they knew about. Blitzcrank getting himself a little bit caught. This could be okay, though, for red team, if I'm honest. Because now Jarvan has to face the power of Cassiopeia, who gets a solo kill. Now it's a 2v thing. Does get an ultimate. Is maybe going to finish off the Ziggs. Very close. Doesn't in the end. Gangplank going to be aggressive again. Replay bugs, remember. I don't know what the hell's happened, but the replays are more buggy now than they've ever been. So Gangplank animations aren't full. We can't see the timer on his barrel. He now mispositions, but he might not be dead. Gragas getting a kill. No, Lucian picked it up. Double kill, actually, by a nice flank. And now they will rotate onto the Nautilus. Cassiopeia knows it's not her time. They're going to just pick that up without her. So she is already heading up to top lane to get that precious, precious farm. But I've liked this game. I have already learnt a little bit about it. And if I'm honest, what has already made this... I know it's a little thing. And to a lot of people, well, isn't that obvious, Huz? Sure. Banshees, to me, has been such an eye-opener of, like, that just makes so much sense. That I think that's going to help me beyond Cassiopeia. If I did want to play Cassio, it makes sense. She's immobile. She has no dash. She's got flash, but only every 5 minutes. It makes sense. Vlad gets a double kill. Again, there's the power of Vladimir, like we've spoken about. Gets a double kill on 2 carry champions. But I think that's going to help me beyond Cassiopeia. I can see me now buying that if I'm having a rough game, which it does happen on Victor. You get camped. Victor, like, get my Hex Core, then buy Banshees, then buy a Lichbane. That could work. I think that's been a really big eye-opener for me, and I don't know why I didn't think of it. Now going to be, I would imagine, building into, yeah, Leandries. Enemy team, though, you know, this game has not gone very well. They are breaking into the base at 18 minutes. Crazy. So I did also look for a game here that wasn't like a obvious win, and this is definitely not an obvious victory for red team. They're actually behind and they've lost their base tower at 18 and a half minutes. That's very hard to recover from. And I also think that blue team's comp is better. I think it's got more synergy to it, you know. It's got Vladimir, that when Vladimir puts his ultimate on targets, they take 10% more damage. You can put that on the whole enemy team that stacks. Let's say you only get it on 3 people. Well, then 3 people are taking 10% more damage when there's a Misfortune ultimate AoE. Ziggs is AoE, Jarvan AoE, and then Vladimir's damage AoE. It's insane. That's a great combo. Obviously, what red team has got for it, what I'd say, their team fight isn't terrible, to say the least, but they have pick. Pick pressure. Gragas, great at picking people. Blitzcrank hooks, great at picking people. They've got pick pressure. Not terrible team fight, but way better at picking. So this is a bit of a combo. Just go for a one bang. What I would question, though, and where I'd potentially see a gap in blue team, even though I prefer their comp, the build from Jarvan to me is really dumb. They do not need his damage. You've got a Vladimir, Ziggs, and Misfortune. Why do you need Jarvan's damage here? You don't. So that's what I'd say. Him being as squishy as he is, if he jumps in at the wrong time, you saw Vladimir just got caught there. If he jumps in at the wrong time, this Lucian or this Cassio will demolish him completely, like gone, melted like butter. So that's the one thing worth mentioning, is I think the Jarvan's build is a bit iffy. Apart from that, their comp is really solid. Obviously, Vladimir doing an incredibly aggressive build because he's had a free lane. Obviously, yes, the Jarvan going top lane a lot helped that. But yeah, he's gone Revolver, Proto Belt, then a Death Cap. So that is a very high AP Vlad compared to what you'd normally have, because normally Vlads don't go Death Cap second item. This one did. So yeah. Item build now obviously continuing for Cassiopeia, nearly finishing her Leandries, and worth mentioning if you're newer to League or anything, certain champions have unique abilities or what makes them different. Cassiopeia's passive ability is she gains movement speed throughout the game, and she cannot buy boots. So the reason why you don't see Cassiopeia buying boots this game is she physically can't. The game will not let you. Her passive is cannot buy boots. And it's actually, you're a lot slower than most champions in League. And if I'm not mistaken, you're slower till about level 11 or level 12. And then you actually become faster than tier 2 boots. So Baron is being pinged by both teams, or red team only. They are getting a pick potential, and that's what I mentioned. The pick potential is high with Blitzcrank. Worth also noting a build that's a bit weird to me, but I guess it's kind of proving my point of what meanwhile Jarvan, again, look, he does a lot of damage, but he does, you know, has to use a stop. Well, there you go. That's how squishy the Jarvan is. Does kill him though. Bad positioning by the Lucian. This actually might back up my theory of what the red team is looking for here. Picks. He bought a Shirelia's on Gragas jungle. Why? Movement speed. It's legit movement speed. He wants movement speed to try and burst, like, to catch people. Maybe I would personally probably go Righteous Glory myself, but sure, I guess. Anyway, Nautilus going in. They had vision of the Gragas, weirdly, so he goes all in on the Gragas. There's their vision. Blitzcrank gets killed, but they didn't have vision of Magiphyllix in the bush. Kind of funny. So they are getting caught one by one. Gragas ultimate, nice flanking ultimate. They are going to continue this. Oh, big mistake by Vladimir, by the way. He walked on Cassiopeia W. And remember, Cassiopeia's W counts to proccing her E damage. A lot of people may not know, but Cassiopeia, her E gets, if the victim is poisoned when the Twin Fang, the E hits, it takes like basically double damage. So, poison, and I don't know why this keeps disappearing, the poison is, your W counts as poison. So normally it's your Q that is affecting the poison, but W is one as well. Oh, okay, they killed him. So yeah, Vlad walking on that was actually a big deal. So Cassiopeia will melt this, hopefully. Nautilus going to try and do his best to stop it. Obviously Jarvan looking for a steal, but yeah, he got the Gragas, who's also pretty squishy, but he just gets one-shot himself. That's why I say, I don't think this Jarvan should have done a one-shot build. But again, if I'm honest, the dude knew he was doing a one-shot build. And why do I say that? Well, if you look, he's running Electrocute this game. You're only running Electrocute Jarvan if you know you're going to do the one-shot build, because that's what it's for. It's full lethality, warrior, jungle item, one-shot build. I'm not a fan of it, because yes, you can kill one thing pretty effectively, but as the jungle role is one of two things. You either go a hyper carry, like a Kayn, Blue Kayn, Kha'Zix, Rengar, or you go like a bruisery tank, which I guess does include Gragas to somewhat, even though he's AP, but that's Jarvan, Vi, Warwick, Nunu, more utility. Jarvan to me is more utility, and I think you're hurting yourself playing just one-shot Jarvan. If you want to do a one-shot playstyle like that, play something that can one-shot multiple things at a time, not just Jarvan who can one-shot one thing. Kha'Zix, for example, can one-shot multiple things. You know, he one-shots one thing, they can move on to another target, one-shot that. Jarvan can't really. He needs his whole combo just to one-shot one thing. Anyway, they are grouping a bit. Gangplank at this time. Lovely hook, and here's the negative. Look, and again, that's just a Gragas barrel nearly one-shotting the Jarvan. That's how useless this Jarvan is becoming so far. Baron obviously up red team. Gangplank, if I'm honest, should have... Oh, lovely play by Blitz. Going aggressive is the Lucian. Ziggs ultimate does come down. Not a lot of damage because the Ziggs is actually kind of weak this game. Nautilus trying to protect his team. Cassiopeia just wailing on him in the back. Rampage is the Gangplank. Worth noting, by the way. Remember, this Gangplank was having a very, very bad game. And he's recovered. So, as what I've always said, why I personally, Jarvan's in this area and gets killed instantly, why I personally am not a big fan of early game champions is if this was top lane, and let's say this was a Renekton instead of a Gangplank, he wouldn't have been able to recover. His champion strength is the lane phase, and if you got camped in the lane phase and denied it, well then your part of your game where you're strong is over. Well, Gangplank is strong mid to late game, so he, yes, had a very rough early game, and in his mind would have been annoyed, oh my god, I'm getting camped so much, but at least in his mind he could think, but at least I scale. At least if I just keep going, get some strength later in the game, at least I get stronger, unlike what a Renekton would, he would fall off. Misfortune melts. But yeah, overall, I've loved watching this game, if I'm honest. I think that might be the game. Misfortune's left. People are quitting, so that will probably be a surrender vote. So, multiple reasons here. One, obviously, the matchup that we watched. Aggression from the Cassiopeia. Really lovely play. Gets her ultimate off early. Again, early ulting catches people off. Nothing over the top, though. That's another thing worth mentioning. When you watch some Cassiopeias, they try to do the ult flash play. They try to be flashy with things. You'll notice sometimes the highest level challenger players don't do flashy plays. They won't do an insect kick on Lee Sin if it's not needed. I think, honestly, the rating where is hurt the most by that, high platinum, low diamond. High platinum, low diamond, I think, is where people believe I have to do something crazy mechanically intense to climb, when you don't. You can just do a basic play, get the same result, and not risk anything. But for some reason, I think high platinum, low diamond has that thing about it that's like flashy plays, where even in Challenger, it's not about flashy, it's about consistent. It's about consistent, it's about smart, it's about calculated. And again, the Cassiopeia has shown that this game. The Gangplank has shown that this game. But honestly, I, by the way, still prefer the comp of Blue Team. I do think this hurt it a lot. The pure lethality build. I don't think that was good. I really don't, because whenever he went in, there was no delay of, okay, our tanks are in, now let's get our Wombo combo, Vladimir ult, Misfortune ult, and Ziggs ult on top of them, because he died instantly. Like, if Jarvan survived longer with then a Nautilus in the middle, both of them are surviving, holding the enemy team, then you put your AoE over, crazy. But with Jarvan getting one shot, they never have that opportunity. But that's going to be it. That was Cassiopeia. Again, I think I might give her a go very soon. But the bigger thing really for me that's been an eye-opener is remembering that Banshee's Veil exists. I know that sounds crazy, but it does. And it actually suits my playstyle and for my champions really well right now. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. Let me know if there's any champions you want me to check out that you think I would like. Yeah, but I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Have a good luck in solo queue. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.